All right, Rabbi Isai, are we ready to go?
Yes, we would like to jump right into the Gemara.
Shkoyach. Okay, I'm all by myself again, Baruch Hashem. Thanks, Avi, for scaring off my son-in-law. Today's daf is being sponsored by myself, the Refuah Shlema of my very, very good friend and a very good friend of the Shir. You can ask Avi Kamiansky. Just about a week ago, Elchanan Feinstein donated a very large sum of money to the Beis Medrash, and they rushed him to the hospital yesterday. I was up very late at night, so if I am a little out of it, this is why. It's his fault. But Baruch Hashem, they stabilized him, they sent him back home. Hopefully everything's okay. Shmaryahu Elchanan ben Chava Mirel. The next one is Li'ilu Nishmas Akiva ben Rifal. Very interesting. Yesterday, somebody complained that I read the name of the Ilu Nishmas. I seem to be excited. Li'ilu Nishmas! And he was Nifter! He was only 60 years old! Chas v'shalom. Chas v'chalila. Li'ilu Nishmas Akiva ben Rifal Aryeh. 14th Nisan is the yahrzeit of our grandfather and great-grandfather Akiva Gassner. Of course, in honor of Reb Eli, and in the Schus and a Refuah Shlema, L'Kol Chayla Yisrael, the Sherman family in Kew Gardens Hill. In honor of Yeshiva Nesivas Aron, that's my brother-in-law's yeshiva I spoke about, big Talmud Chacham, and all the wonderful Rabbeim from Tzvi and Shendi Shir of Baltimore. Great. It's unbelievable. Sponsor our shir, give us the money in honor of that yeshiva. I love it. I hope nobody does the reverse. In honor of our shir, give the money to somebody else's yeshiva. Okay, let's hang this up. If everybody could do me a favor, it's a personal favor, it's a friend of the shir, he's on the WhatsApp group, he talks to us on learning, sends us great stuff all the time. Elchanan Feinstein, we should learn L'Refuasai. Shmaryahu Elchanan ben Chava Mirel, he's one of the Chabura.
They said that he's back in the hospital.
Who told him that?
That's what Ari just said.
It's probably not true because I just spoke to his wife a half hour ago. I'm in constant contact with them. They did send him a couple times. I mean, the matzav is not great, but I think he's back home. I'm pretty sure he's home. Today after the shir, it's going to be a longer video than normal because today after the shir, whoever wants to stick around, there's going to be a siyum on Zoom. And then whoever lives in my neighborhood is siyumim outside as well. Menachem Mata, who I didn't know is on Zoom every day. Baruch Hashem, him and his boys. Rabbi Isai, here's a picture of a great friend, Fishel.
Eli,
Yes.
we do not unmute Menachem because we don't want him to correct you every few minutes.
No,
He
you
asked
could.
us to unmute you. Unmute him.
I let you unmute him.
Unmute him.
I want you to unmute him. Then I'll prepare better. I'm scared of the guy. Unmute him. This is Fishel from Official Catering in Baltimore. It says, on rare kitchen prep duty, Beli chashash marbim simcha besimcha. There's no chashash. He's learning Torah and also peeling. It's not a chashash that you marv one simcha the other. And here, Rabbi Isai, I have to read his email, even though I have literally a stack of, 20 emails I'd love to read. This one is a very long one. I got to read it. Greetings and a great diuk for Gronik. The 9th of Nisan, Rebelli. Now, Fishel flew in from Baltimore to the Siyum of Brachas, and he came in just for the Siyum and left in the middle of the Siyum to catch his flight back. You have to understand that not only did he fly, but it was with a lot of risk. They were saying that they might shut down these flights. It's just when the whole COVID-19 started, the whole corona. And in fact, we had another person, Joey Levy, who had tickets, and they canceled his flight, or he canceled the last second. We had somebody else, Nachum Horvitz, who flew in. Al Capone was dangerous. He came in with a risk. He says like this, Rebelli, with all the new Zoomers online, I feel like an upperclassman. I had to run out of the Brachas Siyum to catch a much coveted by others flight home, and didn't have the opportunity to give you and the committees a well-earned shkoyach on the incredible program with synthesized ruchnis and gashmias. Lowercase g. We have catered many siyum. He's a caterer. But rarely have beautiful fresh flowers on the men's side, which I bought myself. Nor have we ever served a high level of non-mevushal wine that the daf's in-house sommelier. Rabbi Isai, please, when you send me emails, don't try to trip me up with these fancy words. There's a R at the end. And I went to Panovich. It's dangerous. Sommelier sent to our table, which was drained in short order. The concept of refuah kaidim lamaka, which according to my Rebbe is not found in Shas or earlier Shayim, I don't know, we have to debate that, applies to our shir, that the filming for the out-of-towner audience was already in place for the locals. We're doing YouTube before this whole Corona thing. That's another item to be grateful for. We're coming up on the Mishnah of Kechosal Hashem and Mem Adlikin, Kechosal Hashem and Kechosal Haner, spare the oil, spare the candle. The Gemara asks, why we say Kechosal Haner? Like he's sparing the candle and not just Chasal Haner, he's sparing the candle, thereby saving money. Answers the Gemara, the Mishnah says Kechosal Haner as he thinks he will save money by skimping on Ner Shabbos. Obviously the Mishnah is telling us that it's an illusion. He thinks this will affect his parnasa, which along with Corona were nigzar on Rosh Hashanah. Jonathan Stefansky sent me a very exciting voice message with his vart. Rosh Hashanah, at Rosh Hashanah, people's mezainas, you can't skimp, you can't try to save on Shabbos. So you think you're going to save some oil, it's not going to work. Whatever you spend goes back anyways. Besides the illnesses, deaths, and social upheaval, the upsiding economies of the liquor distributors, ammunition merchants, and medical supply businesses are having record quarters, while hospitality, travel, and most brick and mortar shop proprietors are reduced, applying for unemployment benefits, finding themselves on the other side of the proverbial Asher b'fnim v'ani b'chutz. Shabbos daf beis. Asher b'fnim v'ani b'chutz. Additionally, the man is a genius with these words. Additionally, U.S. government announcement of no foreclosures in the foreseeable future, that's for me, well-meaning, was interpreted by many as you don't have to pay rent no more. I don't want to pontificate, so I'll close by wishing you in the booming, zooming Am Shebasados or Am Shebasadot and our families a healthy and fulfilling yontiv. Benisan nigala v'seinu, benisan asidin ligoel. May we at least free ourselves from our personal mitzarim. Official. P.S. I'll try not to get caught yawning, but if you check with my other abbeim, you'll see I don't discriminate. Ishkoyach official. Amazing. I think we're going to have to go. One more, fine. Rebelli, I watched the Safari videos. This is also from another person that's on YouTube a lot, on Zoom with us. One of our good friends sent 6 or 7 of us, Shalachmanas, sent each and every one of us a flashlight. He loves this year. I watched the Safari video the other day, loved it, it's awesome. I kept thinking to myself, Daniel and the Lion's Den. I assume those will be on Eli's greatest hits on the 8-minute Daf app. By the way, check it out. If you guys want, I checked it out the other day. It's amazing. Leon Welcher, he goes and he takes snippets of the Daf and he puts in, he calls them Eli's classics. I missed the last 2 nights on Zoom and it's driving me crazy. I told my wife, I'm reading this because I'm taking Muslim from this. I told my wife I had to get up, so I went to sleep at 9 p.m. yesterday and tried to take a snooze to get up at 12. He went to sleep for 3 hours, he could get up for the shir. Unfortunately, he didn't get up until 4:30 a.m., which for a lot of people, that's very early. Today, Baruch Hashem, is my 28th year anniversary. Mazel Tov, David. Mazel Tov, your wife. Luckily for me, all the jewelry stores are closed. If I can't make it up for shir tonight, I just want to wish you and your wife and the entire Chabura a good yontif, and may Hashem answer all our tefillas. Your number 1 fan, David Address. Shkoyach David. So again, right after shir, there's going to be a Siyum Bezer Hashem. And I just want to say one quick thing that I told the Olam yesterday after the shir. And it says in the... Yes.
Avigdor found that Gemara and Megillah, Akash Baruch Hu is Makdim before Lamaka.
Oh, Shkoyach.
Dr. Gimel.
Okay, that's what I said. I remember something like that, but with my memory, I didn't remember where. That's why I said I want to argue that. Shkoyach. Yesterday we had not so much refuah makkah, but you're supposed to daven before the makkah so that you don't have to come on to refuah. That's a little different. Rabbi Isai, we're in very trying times. And one of the craziest things that we have tonight is the first time in history, I believe, that children are not going to be by the Seder with their parents. It's crazy. My niece, who lives next door to her parents, literally, well, there's one house in between them, on St. Louis in Chicago, in Lincolnwood, she cannot go to her parents' house for the Seder. It's the first time in history that across the world, they're telling people, do not go to your Seder. And this, Rabbi Isai, as you probably figured out already, is in the Pasuk. Va'atem lo yteitzu ish mepesach beisoi ad boiker. Baruch Hu was telling us something. This is like the first Seder. We cannot leave our house. This is the Ratzon HaBorei. So all I'm saying is that we should accept this b'simcha. We should appreciate what we have. We should appreciate our, like they say in Eretz Yisrael, only the Garin family, only you, your wife, and your children, nobody else. This is what we have. Not to sit there and cry about it. And I know I keep on thinking about my good friend whose son is stuck in a different country, and then my son, I don't feel bad for him. It's his fault. He went to Florida and he tried to get back to Chicago, and everybody said, "No, you're not coming to our Seder." So he's stuck in Florida by himself. He got, Baruch Hashem, one friend to join him over there. But it's unbelievable what's going on. But atem lo yteitzu ish mepesach beisai. Rabbi Isai, it's unbelievable. It's in the pasuk. Baruch Hu wants us to be in our house. Yes. Somebody said something. I heard my name being called.
Quickly, this is I like where it's out, and it's amazing. This is Leil Shimurim, where we're all locked down in our houses, and Amal Chamavas is jumping over our houses just like the first night. It's all over again tonight.
Very good. Yishkoyach, Reb Dr. Factor. So let's jump into it. Boy, so we have a long daf again. This is the final daf of the Agadita, and the easiest daf to remember. Ari gave us a siman, but it's a famous siman. It's Daf Lamed Gimel, Lag Ba'omer. It's the daf about Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the famous story of Reb Shimon Bar Yochai in the cave. Very easy to remember. Says the Gemara, we're holding Daf Lamed Beis on Beis, 3 lines from the bottom. Ba'avoin Gezel. So now the Gemara is going to go into 6 categories of Averas, basically about 10 Averas, and what the different einish is per Avera, with a lot of psukim to go into it. How do we know that this Avera deserves this and this punishment? Ba'avoin Gezel, agavoy oilo. When people steal, so comes the locust. And therefore, v'arav hoiva, and then there'll be famine because the locust will eat up the crop. Ubnei Adam, and what's the outcome? People, oichlin besar b'nei ubnei seim, and people start eating their own children. Rachmana litzlan. Shenemar, Shima adov azeh, parois ha-bashan, these fat cows, asher behar shoimroin, ha'oishkois dalim, steal from the poor, haroitzitzois evyoinim, they crush the evyoinim. Another way of saying a poor person is like we say, person that was wealthy and became poor is the evyoin. Omar Rava, I love this. What's a mashal of parois ha-bashan, a fat cow? Like these women, the achlan v'lei avadan, who go spend on the credit card and don't have their own jobs. I have a picture of Boy, say what it looks like. You guys see this? She's even wearing this is a cow, a fat cow going shopping. Wearing the 8-minute daf t-shirt, of course. So what happens? And it happens in our generation as well. There are women that spend more money than their husbands earn, and it causes their husbands to steal, to cheat people in business, to do things they wouldn't typically do, but they have to pay the bills. They have to pay the credit card. They need that fancy car, they need that fancy wig, fancy whatever. Uchsiv. I'm going to hit you with shidafon in Yerokon. We'll see. Yirakoin is jaundice. Shidafoin. Harbois ganu seichem. You have a lot of gardens, karmechem and vineyards, v'teinechem and figs, v'zeiseichem and olives. Yoichal agazam. The locust is going to come in and eat it all up. Uchsiv. Yeser agazam ochala arba. Whatever the first locust didn't take care of, the second type is going to take care of. A bunch of different locusts. V'yeser arba ochala yelek. Whatever the arba didn't take care of, the yelek is going to come in. V'yeser yelek ochala chesel. Kitzer, nothing's going to be left. You know, in those days, you plant a little bit. Whatever you have, you have. It's not like you go to the grocery store and you have from last year and preservatives. If there's no crop, you die. There's nothing to eat. He turns to his right and grabs something to eat. He steals from the guy on the left. And yet he's not satiated. He's going to eat his own arm. It's not literally his own arm, but literally he'll eat his own child. All right, Rabbi, I have a question to think about until we get to Beis. If the government is running after somebody, you live in a terrible place, you know they want you, the mafia is after you. They're going to kill you. Halachically, are you permitted to run away knowing that they're going to take your neighbor and Chinese torture him so that he spills the information? They're not going to kill him, but they will torture him. Are you allowed to run away? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down, Rabbi Sai? What do you say? You're allowed to.
Isn't Chinese torture just a bunch of tickling? Isn't that what all it is?
I didn't have it, but the Chinese know how to get stuff out of their people, and I'm assuming that they know how to torture. I don't think, So maybe Chinese torture is corona, I don't know. China, came from China. I'll go upon him. So we're going to see the answer to that question later on. The Magen Avram proves it from our sugya. There are three things, also something that we have to think about in our generation. Delaying the gzar din, the psak halacha. If a bezdin, for no reason, no good reason, just decides not to give the baal din, people are going crazy. They want to know the outcome. They don't get it because the dayan doesn't feel like it. V'ivos hadin. This is, says Rashi, intentionally being ma'avis hadin, not giving the proper din. V'kilkul hadin. And this is interesting, not looking into the din properly, not coming out with the right outcome, like we said a few times. The Gaon says, tzedek tirdaif, the double lashon. One is that the dayan has to know the halacha, and he also has to know the metzias. He has to have his feet on the ground. He has to know how certain things work before he paskins. Not going into the materialistic aspect of it, how a car works and how this, and just giving a psak. Shulchan Aruch says that's kilkul adin. Ubitul Torah, not learning properly enough. Cherev uviza rava. There'll be death by the sword, war. Ubiza, the guy will come in and take the booty. V'dever. What's dever, Rabbi Isai? This word, we never cared about this word last year. Mi barash, mi b'magefa, we scream in Rosh Hashanah, we didn't care about that word. It didn't mean anything to us, and now it means a lot. V'dever, an epidemic. Ubatsoyers bar, right? Everybody says, who's going to die in time? But to think about a magefa, those words we just... Today we know what it means. V'dever, ubatsoyers bar, famine. Now we can even appreciate what famine is. Just one more step and we don't even have food. We don't have eggs. People can't even make food in Eretz Yisrael because there's no eggs. People will eat and they won't be satiated. Even if you do have food, it won't help you. So this is interesting that there was not enough bread and the bread fell apart. They didn't have enough wood to heat up the ovens and everybody's using the same oven. So they wouldn't split up the bread by loaves of bread. They would split it up by weight. They'd take a few crumbs. Each person got a few crumbs. D'chsiv veisi aleichem cherev nekemes nekam bris. Ve'ein bris ela Torah. This is referring to Torah. Shenemar lo brisi yoimam v'layla. So yom v'layla is a play on words you learn. V'yisa b'yom v'layla. It's referring to Torah. Uchsiv b'shivi lochem mat lechem v'afu eser nashim. 10 women are going to bake in one oven. Uchsin yan v'yan. There's not enough firewood to make a fire. Forget about food. Uchsiv yanu v'yan b'mishpotei moasu. Because they were disgusted in my mitzvahs. Ba'avon shua shav. So okay, that's that. Ba'avon shua shav, the avera of swearing for no reason, to say that right now is nighttime or right now is daytime when it's night. To say so and so is a woman when it's a man. Shua shav. Ushua sheker, to lie and say I will perform X and X Y Z and not do it. V'chilul Hashem. What's a chilul Hashem? So we know we all went to school. And the teacher said, don't run too fast because that's a chilul Hashem. Rashi says, chilul Hashem is when a person is an important person, he has authority, people look up to him, and he acts improperly. And people are going to say, that's the right way to do it. You could act like that. That's okay. Because Baruch Hu's name is Mechulal. Okay. V'chilul Shabbos, not keeping Shabbos properly. Chaya ra rava, there'll be larger animals that will multiply. Ubehema kala, so they'll eat up the livestock, like they have in the safari. They have over there. They have big fights between the Africans that have their livestock, and they kill the lions, and they want the lions to live. They come and destroy the livestock. Ubnei adam ismatim, and therefore, without the livestock, less people. V'adrachim mishtayimim, and therefore, nobody is on the highways. We know what that means. Shenemar. Yeah? You look at the highways today. I'm not saying that this has any connection with. All of a sudden, we understand these things. V'adrachim mishtayimim. You can't get from here to there. Shenemar be'ela lo yisevasru li. If you don't listen to me, I'll tikra be'ela ela ba'ala. Ba'ala is a lashon of a shvuah. So it's because of the shvuah shav and sheker that these punishments happen. Uchsiv v'shlachti b'chem es chayes hasada. I'm going to send the animals, and therefore you don't have livestock, you don't have people, you don't have ways. Uchsiv v'shvuah sheker. So now the Gemara makes a hekesh. It says b'shvuah sheker v'shishavu b'shmila sheker v'chilalta. It says the word chilul. Hashem elikecha. U'b'chil Hashem ksiv v'lo yisachal Hashem kodshi. U'b'chil Shabbos ksiv v'chalel moisim. So in all three places it says the word chilul, and since we know what chilul means, by shvuah sheker you have HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to send the animal, so too by chilul Shabbos and chilul Hashem. V'yalav chilul mishvuah sheker. Ba'avoin shvichas dam, because of Ritzicha, Beis Hamikdash charev, u'shchina mistalekes miYisrael. No more shchina. Shenema v'lisachanifu v'lisatamis ha'oretz asher atem yoshim is referring to Ritzicha. Asher nishochem b'soicha. Hatem etam oisa, but if you do Ritzicha, einchem yoshim ba, ve'en nishochem b'soicha. You can't be in the Beis Hamikdash, and you can't, and I won't be there. Ba'avoin gilei arayos. Because of all gilei arayos. V'avodas kechavim. Avodas zara. V'ashmat hashmitim v'yovelis, and not keeping shmita and yovel properly. Galus bala olam. There'll be galus in the world. U'megalan oisan. And people will be in galus. U'bar ma'acherim v'yoshim b'mkaiman. And then the goyim will sit in Eretz Yisrael. Shenemar ki eskal te'eves ha'el. Osu anshi ha'aretz. Uchsiv. V'atitma ha'aretz v'efkod avan olel. Uchsiv v'lo yisaki ha'aretz eschem b'tamachem oisa. The land is not going to spit you out when you were metamed. U'ba'avodas kechavim ksiv v'nosatis pigreichem v'zgileichem uchsiv hashimoisi. It's going to be desolate. There's not going to be anybody there. Es migdasheichem. Your migdash. Oy vey. I'm thinking now, be'emes, right now. It says plural, migdasheichem, your shuls. V'hashimoisi es migdasheichem. Your shuls are going to be desolate. Your migdash is going to be desolate. Ay, 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 ay. Unbelievable. Ve'eschem ezora ba'goyim b'shmitim u'b'yavos ksiv oz tirtza oretz eshabse yisrael. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling the land is going to take like revenge. It's going to be appeased. It's going to be happy. Okay, now you're happy. I'm going to chuck you out of Eretz Yisrael, so you won't be able to work the land anyway. And the land is going to say, okay, now I got back those years of Shemitah that you worked me. You worked me all these Shemitah years. Now you're out of Eretz Yisrael anyways, so now I'm resting. I have a good vacation, the land says. Os tirtza haaretz, the land is going to be appeased, es shapsisel, these Shmitos that you didn't keep, kol yemei Shamo, v'atem be'eretz oivechem, and where are you? You're in your enemy's land, you're in America. You're in Bavel, uchsiv, kol yemei Shamo tishbois. Rabbi Isai, in this sugya, I think is very, very appropriate for us, a lot of us. Especially where I came from in America, this was prevalent, unfortunately. Ba'avoin, navlus peh, tsaros, rabbis. I have to say that in Eretz Yisrael, this is much less of a problem. Maybe it was just where I was used to being. Ba'avoin, navlus peh, tsaros, rabbis, ugzeros, koshes, mischachos. When people defile their mouth, they say nivel peh, they say things that they shouldn't be saying from their mouth. And I was thinking to myself, does it also mean, let's say, if you drop the bomb, is that nivel peh? L'chari, yes. You're not really describing something. Maybe you are. Yesh lodon, a little bit maybe. But I think saying, I don't want to really say it, but maybe I should, just so that it's clear, the F word, nivel peh. And I've heard from people just say it. You know, like, Ma'aseh b'chol yom. Tsaros, rabbis, ugzeros, koshois, mischachois. A lot of tsaros and bad gzeros happen. Ubachure soine Yisrael mesim, and young Jewish children die. Soine Yisrael, the enemies of Klal Yisrael, is a lashon saginor. Yisoimim va'almonois tsoyakim. The Gemara is going on a tangent here more than on the other ones even. There are Yisoimim and almonois who are screaming ve'nenim, and nobody cares about them. Nobody's answering them. They have no food to put on the table and nobody cares. Shnemar al kein al bachurav lo yismach Hashem ves Yisoimim ves almonois lo yirachem. Why? Well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu not have rachmanis on Yisoimim and almonois. Ki chulei chonef. They're hypocrites. Umereya, and they're evildoers. V'chol peh doiver nevala, because they speak nivel peh. B'chol zois lo yishav apoi v'yodei netuya. Hashem's anger didn't return. V'yodei netuya. My v'yodei netuya Reb Chanan bar Rava. Hakol yoidin kalo lama nichnas al chuppah. Everybody knows why a woman gets married. Elakol amenal piv. But if you speak about it, you explain, you tell your friend, you make a joke about it. Even if a person is already, he's going to have a great life, 70 years of life, that's a normal life. From one nibble pechas v'shalom, Hakadosh Baruch Hu could flip it over. We got to be careful. And this is even scarier. Omer Rabba bar Shilo, Omer Rav Chizda, Kol amanav piv, mamikin lo gehenim. If a person says nibul peh, they'll make his gehenim even deeper. Shenemar shucha amuka pizaros. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar av shimei v'shoisek. If you hear your friend saying the F word, and you don't say, hey, please don't talk like that, you will get punished. Huge chiddush for me, huge. Shenemar zu'um Hashem yipol sham. I'm not making this up. It's not a Musa Sefer. This is the Gemara. Omer Vaishaya, Kol hamemarik atzmei la'avera. If a person sets aside time to do an avera, Monday afternoon, I'm going to here and there, I'm going to do an avera. Chaburos upsoim yoitzim boy. He'll have wounds. Shenemar chaburos petza tamruk bira. Tamruk is a lashon of setting aside time, bira, for bad, for an avera. Which is, as the Gemara is going to describe, it's swelling. What kind of swelling? Swelling of the stomach, swelling of the whole body, swelling of the skin, of the muscles, which cause the skin to blow up. Shenemar umakois chadri boten comes from the stomach. Omer Rav Nachman Yitzchak simin la'aveira hidrokoin. So there's a klal and shas when the Gemara says aveira without describing what it is, it's talking about arayos. Simin, you want to know if a person was over an arayas, all of a sudden you see his stomach swelling, you say, oh, he's getting punished for his arayas. Okay? Boy said, tremendous Kiddush Hashem. where Erev Pesach, people were up late at night turning over and everything, and because chametz takes a long time. And by the way, years ago when I lived in Brooklyn, my father did b'dikas chametz, and it was for hours. He was very makbid in those days. And I went to sleep, and in my sleep I heard screaming. I got up, and my house was on fire, and my sister almost died. But we grabbed everybody, and we ran out to the street. We lived on East 13th Street between L&M in Flatbush, and our house burnt. We didn't have an apartment for what happened was he went with the candle underneath the bed, and one of those little strings that hangs from the bottom of the mattress caught on, and the whole bed went on fire. That was the last time he used the candle. But anyway, so we had a nest years ago, so I'm mentioning it. And people were up late at night, and there's over 120 people on Zoom, just Zoom alone, and YouTube I have no idea. Usually it's about in the 70s these days. So we have close to 200 people that are watching live on Erev Pesach. What a Kiddush Hashem. In this crazy matzav, people realize they need that kvius, that one stable thing we have in our life, that 1 hour that we're learning Torah. We're not going to give it up. We're going to have a shir Be'ez Hashem on Matzah Yantiv at 9 o'clock. I know it's hard. Be there. We'll be geschmack. We're back into the Shabbos sugyas. Says the Gemara.
You'll have to make up a time for Chol Hamoed also.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's talk about it. I didn't even think about it. It's a little bit... well, we're all davening in our porches. How long does davening take? I don't know. Maybe we should just continue at the same time. Fine. Well...
Yeah, why would we change anything?
Lauren says, why not the same time? Everybody's saying, why not at the same time? I see same time. Everybody, I just saw 3 people on the screen, same time. I vote same time. Davening is shorter than a weekday davening for us, unfortunately. Torah Rabbanon. We are going to have minyanim. We will have a minyan. But what are you saying, Gary?
Not at the same time. Why should I get up so early?
Gary, I love your haircut. Somebody mute him. Zog the Gemara. Yeah.
Gary's uncle just passed away. Gary just posted it.
Really? Baruch Daina Emes. What's his name, Gary?
Label Groner.
Oh, Reb Label Groner, the famous Reb Label Groner. So I want to tell you guys a story that I just saw from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, because Reb Label Groner was the Lubavitcher Rebbe's Gabbai, and it says a very interesting story. I found it fascinating that the year that the Rebbetzin was nifter, so of course naturally the Hasidim, Reb Label Groner, they went to the Rebbe and said, "Please eat by us," and he refused. The Rebbe went in 770 and made the Seder by himself in 770. And they said that it's for the people, and now we can understand it for ourselves, for all those who are eating by themselves, for all those almanas, all those 80-year-old men or almanas tonight, who are not allowed to be with their children. Imagine a Seder without a mishpacha. Usually 50 people at Seder, and tonight, because we want to save their lives. So that's what they said. The Rebbe wanted to make a statement and say, I could do Seder by myself, so can you. All right, his neshama should have an aliyah. I didn't know you're a relative of his. I think you might have mentioned to me once. Didn't stick. All right, neshama should have an aliyah. Toner Rabbanon Gimel Minei Drokinein. There are 3 types. Shalavera Arayas causes your stomach to bloat. So if you see somebody with a bloated drokin, you know he was over an Avera. Vishal Rav, if a person has a drokin because he's fasting, he's in famine, tofuach. It means his skin is bloated, not his stomach, his skin. The first one is his skin is thick, and this one is bloated. Shafim, if it comes from sorcery, kishuf, dak. His skin will be thin. Shmuel hakatan chashbei. Shmuel hakatan gadi drokin. What's the first thing he said? Shem Yirachem. I'm going to walk around in the street, and people know I have a drokin. The first thing that's going to come to their mind is, Shmuel hakatan did an avera. He was over in Arayas. Omar Rabbeinu Shloilom, mi babis. Who's going to do a lottery and say, look what he did? Itzi. So because of that, he was healed. Abaye Choshbei, Abaye had a drucken. Omar Rava, Yadana ben Achmeni. That was Abaye's name, another name, Nachmeni. Either he's called on Rabbi ben Achmeni's father. Akoponim de Mechapen Nafshe. We know that Abaye is always fasting, so therefore that's why he has a drucken, not because of the Aveira. Rava Choshbei. Rava had a drucken. Ask the Gemara, how did Rava ever get to a drucken? More people die because of the pot, meaning holding themselves back from going to the bathroom, from blowing up from hunger. In other words, Rava knew that if you starve yourself or holding yourself from going to the bathroom, you get a drucken. So how would Rava get a drucken? When he was giving shir, the Talmidim wouldn't let him go, and he couldn't go to the bathroom. And there's the concept of Kavod Abriyas. He was too embarrassed or whatever to say, listen, I have to go to Doilim now, whatever. So that caused him to have a drucken. Tarabanon, Arba Simanim Hein. Similar Averi drucken. You could tell that a person was over an Averi if he has a drucken. Simin l'sinas chinam. If a person is over in sinas chinam, we had yesterday, he hates another Jew without that other Jew committing an Avera. Yerakon, he becomes yellow, jaundice. Simin l'gasis haruach anios, and being haughty causes one to be poor. Simin l'lashon hara, askara. Askara, boisai, in the time of the Gemara, was the worst disease. And basically, it's the restriction of the breathing, and one could say that it has something to do with corona. That's basically how people die from corona. It's the restriction of breathing. Although corona starts a little different. Starts from the top and works its way down to the lungs. From the Gemara, from Rashi, it's mashma. It starts from the lungs, from the innards, and works its way up to the throat. Tanar Abanon, Askara bala oilam ala maiser. So, question, what causes askara? Askara is from people not being makbid on maiser. Maiser is something you eat, you put into your throat. You're eating tevel without taking maiser. Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Yossi Omer. So this is important to remember this name. Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Yossi says, Al Lashon Hara. Askara comes from people speaking Lashon Hara. Again, with the mouth, Lashon Hara. Omerava V'Seim Rebbe Shmuel ben Levi. Micro. Where do we see this in the pasuk? V'Amelech Yismach Belikim Yisal Kol Anishba Boy. Listen to this. Ki Yisacher. Yisacher, a lashon of askara. P, doivrei shaker. Doivrei shaker. It's a lashon of lashon hara. Lashon hara is like a sheker. It's not that it's a lie, but it's sheker. We call it sheker. The Rishonim talk sheker. It's lashon hara. Ibaylu. Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Yossi al lashon hara kamar or yidilma af al lashon hara. So on the top line of the page where it says Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Yossi says that askara comes because of lashon hara, did he mean in addition to something else? Is it lashon hara only? Or idil ma'af lashon hara nami? Tashma. When Klal Yisrael went to Yavna and they created the Sanhedrin there and they were lined up in rows, we described this. The Sanhedrin was always in a half a circle. They were running away from the Romans. They had to pretend that they were learning Torah and not creating a Sanhedrin. So they made straight rows like a vineyard. So it's called Keren B'Yavna. So this is the Rebbe Lazar Rebbe Yossi that we're talking about, that he said the Asir comes from Lashon Hara. They asked the question, not them, they asked them the question, why does Asir, why does it start with the intestines and works its way up? The Gemara says before it works its way up from the intestines to the mouth. Not Rebbe Yehuda Rebbe Eloi. Who's Rebbe Yehuda Rebbe Eloi? The famous Rebbe Yehuda in the Mishnah that always argues with Rameir. Rebbe Yehuda. And we had this already before in the Mishnah. He's the one that always says Pshat first. Why? That's the next story in the Gemara. Even though the kidneys, they're the ones that give the idea to talk, and the heart understands, and the tongue articulates the words, the mouth finishes it off. And therefore, it ends up in the mouth. And this is the Rebbe Yossi that says that Asher comes because of Lashon Hara, and here all of a sudden he says, Asher comes from eating Tamei. Ask the Gemara, Dvarim Tmeim Sol Kedaitach. Where in the Torah does it say that if you eat tamei, you die? Lashon hara, there are psukim that refer to death. There is death for lashon hara, but eating tamei. Amar lai nashim sari elo shoichlin bo dvarim shenim tukanim. They're eating tevel. They're not eating. He was Rosh Hamidabrim. Rosh Hamidabrim says Rav Rudiman. Something like that. They eat things that don't have meiser. Let me just stop for a second. Let me see who's on here. I just want to make sure I got everybody here. Zavroth, Ari, I've been laying there. Yosef was up till 3 in the morning. He sent me a text at 3 in the morning. Hilakam Yansky.
We got Joey Levy on.
I saw Joey. He's on my first screen. I saw him. Joey, shkoyach for wanting to come to Eretz Yisrael. Seriously, it's not a joke. People wanted to come to Eretz Yisrael for the Sima Brachas. Ari. All right, I'm going back to the first screen. Shkoyach, guys, sorry. Mordechai Seltzer, get with it. Come on, let's go. Fischl, I didn't catch you snoring yet. I didn't catch you yawning. Everything's gewaldig. Elo, shoychem ba'dvarim shenim metukanim. They're eating things that don't have trumas and meisers, and not because of lashon hara, or maybe it's also lashon hara. Not a Reb Shimon v'omar ba'avoim b'til Torah. So Reb Shimon ba'yechayz l'shitasai. Torah. It's all about Torah, and people die because they're not learning Torah. Amar la, Rabbi say, listen to this. Nashim yichichu.
You got Eli on also from Surah Hadassah.
Wow, so we got 3 Kamianskis. We have Eli, Avi, and Hil Kamiansky, the 3 brothers, and we should have your father-in-law somewhere. Although I didn't see him today, we should have your father-in-law, Dr. Epstein, somewhere. Is he on? No, I don't see him. Okay.
I'm sure he's on.
I didn't notice him. Okay.
He's on. I see him. He's on.
Okay, beautiful.
He's making funny faces, actually.
Listen to this. Nashim yechichu, but women die from askara, and they're not mechuyev in Talmud Torah because it's v'nimatim oisim is b'neichem. You teach Torah to your sons, you don't teach Torah to your daughters. They're not mechuyev in Torah, so why would they die for b'dil Torah? Says the Gemara, shemevatlis is ba'aleyan, because they caused their husbands to mivat the Torah. When I first got married, I might have mentioned the story, but now we're doing chazara on the stories already. Oh, here he is. I see him. He's on the first screen. Hi neighbor, Dr. Epstein. So, I was told that Shana Rishona you should learn night seder at home. So a few weeks after my chas, and I start learning at home, and I open up the Gemara, Bislavas, I'm going to learn. And about 3 minutes later, my new wife walks into the room. Eli, you have a phone call. And immediately, I don't know what was going on in my brain, but I made this whole cheshbon. Whoa, this is my first time learning here, and I want this to work out, and she's already giving me phone calls. So I turn around and go, Nuah, Nu. She's like, what? I said, Nuah, I point to the Gemara. She's what? It's like Shemona Esrei. I said, She said, I didn't know. And she walked out. That lasted for about 2 weeks. But yeah, Maisa Shaya. Like, she didn't know. She did it. She never saw somebody learning. I don't know. Her father learned in base marriage. I said, what are you talking? You can't stop a guy while he's... It happens to be not far from the truth. It is like Shemona Esrei, but yeah, okay. It didn't really work for a long time, but let's just say it worked for a little bit. Why do women die from askar? Says the Gemara, crazy. Mivatlis ba'aleim. They come in with their phone, they start shmuzing in the middle of learning. Narevayim. Nachem yechichu. What about a goy? They die from askar. Shemivatlim is Yisrael. They cause Klal Yisrael bittul Torah. Tinoikos yechichu. Little children. Shemivatlin es avin. Amazing Rashi. It's kedai to see this inside. What does it mean? A child is mevatel his father? Rabbi said nothing changed. It says like this: Shein bnei limo, they don't have to learn. How do they mevatel the father? Lo yilichim lachama. Take me outside to the park. Uletzayin, bring me into the air conditioner. Ulefaisam begoizim, give me candy. When a child comes to his father while he's learning, he says, Tati, I want a candy. Ulefaisam begoizim. It's It's a taina against the kid. It's unbelievable. It's like Kechuta Saira. Asked the Gemara. But what about children that are in school, they're learning Torah, they don't have time to be mevatel their father from Torah? What about them? Why do they die from Askura? Says the Gemara, Rabbi Gurion, Rabbi Gurion, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shmayo, Tzadikim Bedar. When we have tzadikim in the generation, tzadikim nitfas maladar, then the aveiros go to the tzadikim. In tzadikim bedar, tinoike shobis rav nitfas maladar. If there are no tzadikim in the generation, who's next in line to save the generation? The young children. They're the ones that carry the generation, and therefore they take the brunt of the einish and they die unfortunately. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak bar Ziri v'Amilo Rabbi Shimon ben Nazira. Somebody look in there, tell me what it says. Mikra im seidilach. How do you know this from the pasuk? What's the continuation of the pasuk? Urias gedoysayich hamishkenes saroyim. Urias gedoysayich hamishkenes saroyim. Uri gedoysayich gedi. Look at your small little flock, the little children. Al mishkenois. So the Gemara is darshan. Mishkenois is a mashkoin. A mashkoin. It's a, what's the word? A collateral. Collateral. It's a play on words. These young goats, these kids, are a collateral for Klal Yisrael, ala roim, on the people that lead Klal Yisrael, on the Chachamim. So if we don't have Chachamim, they step into their place, they're the collateral instead of the Chachamim. Shema Mina, at the end of the day, after all this whole thing, you had a question. Did Rebbe Elazar Rebbe Yossi say that Askar comes because of the Lashon Hara and only Lashon Hara, or did he mean also Lashon Hara, but also for other things? And from here you see that Rebbe Elazar said Mefurish. It comes from not being mafresh, Trumas and Meisers, and Lashon Hara. Shema Mina. Now comes the famous story of Reb Shimon bar Yochai in the cave. Why was Rabbi Yehuda the first to speak? The Asher Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon. The three. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. The Yosef, Yehuda ben Gerim Gabayu, and there was a person by the name of Yehuda ben Gerim. Taisus says that another Masechta, they call him Rabbi Yehuda ben Gerim. He was the son of converts. He was the son of Gerim. A lot of Rishonim hold that he was a huge gadol. He was a Tana. Others hold that he was a bad guy. At the end of the story, Reb Shimon bar Yochai looked at him and killed him. So you might say that he wasn't, but it wasn't really his fault. Look at the Romans. They're unbelievable. Tiknu Shvakim, they made us beautiful streets and marketplaces and everything. Look how they designed the city. Tiknu Ksharim, they made bridges for us. Tiknu Merchatzos, and they made bathhouses. Rabbi Yossi Shasak, Rabbi Yossi didn't say a thing. Not Reb Shimon bar Yochai v'Amar. They did this for themselves. Tiknu Shvakim, unbelievable that the beginning of Masechtas Avodah Zarah, the Gemara brings this exact debate between the Romans and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Romans said, look what we did. We deserve Gan Eden because we made Shvakim, all this, exactly this question, this thing, this back and forth is between the Romans and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what Reb Shimon bar Yochai says is what the Rebbeinu Shalom told the Romans. They did this for themselves. They had no intention to help Klal Yisrael. Tiknu Shvakim, why did they make marketplaces to put the Zaynos there? Mechatzos, why did they make the bathhouses Ladim b'matzmam? For their own sake. Gesharim, Lito memeches, to take tolls. Holach Yehuda ben Gerim, what would you do if you heard Reb Shimon bar Yochai say this? Would you keep this to yourself? Would you run around to your friends and say it by the Shabbos table? That's what Yehuda ben Gerim did. He wasn't being malicious here. He went out and he said, Rabbi, you're not going to believe what Reb Shimon bar Yochai said. He said, they did this for themselves. And of course, once you say it and it goes in the WhatsApp, and then some guy out there is going to hear about it, and eventually it came to the Romans, Omru, and they said, Yehuda she'ilah, Yehuda that said nice things about us, Yis'ala. And that's what it means in the entire Shas. Roish HaMedarbim b'chol makom. That Yehuda gets to speak, Rabbi Yehuda of the Mishnah gets to speak first because the Roman said he gets to speak first. He has to go to Golos and make the bezin over there. Shimon, Reb Shimon bar Yochai, Shegina, that made fun of the Romans, Yehareg, we got to kill him. So Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon, they ran to the base of Medrash. So every single day, his wife would bring him bread and water, and they lived off bread and water. Once they brought in the Canaan units, they're searching for him. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai told his son, what do they do today? The police do this all the time. You have a criminal, somebody killed somebody. The first thing they do is they go to the wife. They check out the girlfriend. They want to see who she's talking to. They listen to her phone calls. And then they do a little Chinese tickling torture, whatever. She's going to spill the beans. They'll do a little torture, and they're going to spill the beans. So I asked you the question. Says the Magen Avraham, Shimon Bar Yochai knew that they're going to torture his wife, but he ran away. La halacha, you're allowed to save your life, knowing that somebody's going to be tortured because of you. Azlu toshu b'marasa, so they ran away to the cave. It rachesh nisa, a nace happened. Ibrulu charuva, there was a carob tree, bokzer. Sorry, like this. This nasty stuff that we eat on Tu B'Shvat, I don't like it very much. I don't think anybody likes it. Imagine eating that for 12 years straight. It was an ace. The Marshal says it was an ace within an ace. First of all, the tree grew.
It's actually really good. Donnie Fine has gotten me something. It's really good.
Okay. Anything is good, even pizza, which I love. If I had to eat it 4 days in a row, I'll get sick of it. So, it's Rachesh Nisa that it takes 70 years for the carob tree to bear fruit, and it bears. Somebody look it up on Google. I didn't have time. Is it like that today that it takes that long to bear fruit? But anyway, it takes a long time, but it started bearing fruit immediately. There was a spring of water. They're in a cave. All of a sudden, there's water, and there's a boxer tree. They call it boxer in Yiddish. And this is amazing. I don't know if a lot of people know this. They had to remove their clothing, and they sat in dirt up until their neck. And what do they do? If I was with my son for 14 minutes in a cave, the first thing that would come out of his mouth, and I think many of you could relate, Daddy, I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored. What do they do all day? They learn Torah. They weren't bored. Some say Reb Shimon Bar Yochai wrote the Zohar here. Kula yoyim agarse. They learn Torah all day long. Bidin salui lovshu michsayu umatz. I find this fascinating. Every single time they had to daven, but Reb Shimon Bar Yochai didn't have to daven because his Torah also Nasa, as the Gemara brought down, that he didn't daven. But whenever he davened, and he would put on his clothing, wipe off the dirt, the mud. I don't know how they did it. Get rid of the mud. I'm just picturing to myself. He has this mud stuck to his body. You got to get rid of it somehow and put on your clothing, because you daven with your nice clothing. Even when we go out to the porch, we wear our jackets, we wear our shoes. When you daven at home, try not to daven in your socks. Yeah? You got to daven. Fine. Fine, I'm sorry. Then they'll take the clothing off, so that the clothing don't wear off. They didn't know how long they'll be in there. They sat there for 12 years. 12 years. Just picture it. It's crazy time. Also, Eliyahu Navi came and stood by the entrance of the cave. Omar, the Miss Caesar ubotuk zerta. Who's going to tell Bar Yochai that the Caesar died and there's no more Gzeira? You can come out. Nafku, they came out. They saw people plowing the fields and sowing the fields. What's wrong with these people? They're going to work and they're not learning Torah. They couldn't believe it. They're on such a high level, they couldn't fathom that somebody would spend time that Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave in this world to waste it on mundane things like making a living. Anywhere they looked, they were so powerful. Miyad Nisrav, everything burnt. Yatza Baskel v'Omer lahem. Because Baruch wasn't happy with this. He came out of the cave. This is where the saying came. Go back into your cave. When I learned this morning, it occurred to me a very interesting thing. That Rebbe Kiva also was away from his family for 12 years, and then he went back to learn for another 12 years. There was something about 12 years and then going back. Over here, the 12 years, you think you're on vacation, you go back. Unbelievable. Hadar Ozl, they're already out, they're already free. No, they go back. Hadar Ozl, Aisivu, Tracy Yachishata, so they went for another 12 months. Amri, Eliyahu didn't show up, so they had to figure it out themselves. Mishpah Rishon beGehenim Shneim Asachaydesh. A Rasha gets Gehenna for 12 months. We shouldn't get any more than that. So Baskel V'Amrot Sumer Meraschim. Once they made that cheshbon and they gave themselves permission to go out, then the Baskel agreed to them. Nafku. Whoever Rebbe Lazar the son would destroy, have a master Rebbe Shimon. Rebbe Shimon would fix. Omar Loi Beni. You don't have to make sure that everybody's learning Torah. The two of us will take care of the world. We have enough Torah between the two of us that they don't have to learn. Let them go work. Badi Panya de Mali Shapso. It was Erev Shabbos. Choza Usabo. The Avenoka tree Madoni Asa. He was holding 2 bushels of hadassim that we have in our lulav. Smells good. Virod ben Hashmoshes is right before sundown. Amrlei Hane Lamalach. Why do you need these? Amrlo Lekavet Shabbos. I want flowers for Shabbos. That was the one thing my wife was upset about. The flower store is closed. She said she's going to go to the porch and grab some shvacha flowers off the porch. But Lamaisa, one is enough. Chad keneged Zachar, v'chad keneged Shamar. So the tzaddik told him, no, I want 2 bundles. One for Zachar, one for Shamar. The Maharsha says, and this is how we know, we take it for granted. It's this Gemara that teaches us that for Shabbos candles, we light 2 candles. Rabbi say, I didn't see it inside anywhere, but it says Ahu Saba. And many times Ahu Saba is Eliyahu Navi. It's very possible the Gemara is saying that Eliyahu Navi tried to get them to think here. He tried to point out, hey, look, there's other things in Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael thinks about Shabbos, they're not just learning, they're doing other mitzvahs. Look how they appreciate mitzvahs. Yosef Datayu, and that calmed Reb Shimon Bar Yochai and Reb Lazar Reb Shimon. Shavar Reb Pinchas ben Yair Chasnei ben Ofek Lapi. Reb Pinchas ben Yair, their son-in-law, but some say the father-in-law, Nofek Lapi. He went out to greet them. The first thing is you need a good shower. You haven't showered in 13 years. 13 years. Havaka Leila Bisri was giving him a massage on his flesh. He saw that he has cracks down his flesh. His skin was cracked from all the mud. Havaka So he started crying. Reb Pinchas ben Yair started crying. So a salty tear went into Reb Shimon Bar Yochai's skin, so he started screaming in pain. He added salt to the wound. Says Reb Pinchas ben Yair, I cannot believe that I see you, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, like this. Look how you look. You have a schus that you see me like this. Rabbi Isai, if you didn't see me like this, the only reason why I'm a Reb Shimon Bar Yochai is because you see me like this. Because I sat in a cave for 13 years and learned Torah for 13 years. So today I'm Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. The only reason Rebbe Kiva is Rebbe Kiva is because he left his house for 24 years. The only reason why Yaakov Avinu is because all the learning he did in Shem Be'er for all those years. The Chazon Ish who wrote Sfarim on every single topic in Shas, in Yiddishkeit, in Kiddush HaChodesh, in every single Taras, Kachim and everything, was the Chazon Ish because he didn't have children and he had a disease of his intestines and he had to lay down. Most of his learning was lying down. The Chazon Ish 60 years ago. He's the Chazon Ish because he had that disease. Not, Hashem Yirachim, he doesn't have children and he has a disease. He is the Chazon Ish because he has that disease.
Are you saying it's his golden dove? It's his golden dove.
It's the golden dove, Rabbi say. Well, yeah, it's the same niggin actually. Yeah, very good. Yishkoyach. Not that's his golden dove, but it's a different vart. It's to reach madregas, you have to go through in life your Yisurim. And it's to be makabel ba'ahava your Yisurim. Yeah, I guess it's the golden dove. It is the same thing, I guess. That's what it is. But you see, I mean, the amount of time, 13 years, it's not, you can't fathom such a thing. 13 years. All right, let's finish up and we'll do a scene. The Mikarik, you have a Makshir Reb Shimon ben Yochai Kushya. In the beginning, before he went to the cave, he would ask Reb Pinchas ben Yair a question. Have a Mefark Reb Pinchas ben Yair Tresar Piruke. He would answer him 12 answers. L'soiv, you have a Makshir Reb Pinchas ben Yair Kushya. But at the end, Reb Pinchas ben Yair would ask Reb Shimon ben Yochai a question. Have a Mefark Reb Rashbi Esrim Varbar Piruke. Reb Shimon ben Yochai would answer him 24 answers. They say in basketball, like if your team is down 12 points, and then you go up by 24, so there's a 36-point swing, right? There's a swing. Over here, it's not, 24, it's 12 plus 24. The difference between where it was and now is 36, actually. 36 tirutzim. He's not the one accepting the answers. He's the one giving the answers, and 24 of them. Fine, let's just finish over here. Rabbi Isai, Chakoshev Sameach, we should do the Seder B'Simcha, as tough as it is. We should be zoicha to see Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen. Now who's doing the siyum, Rabbi Isai? Anybody? Who? It was either Avram Lewis or David Feinberg. Who was it? Avram Lewis, you ready? I don't hear anybody. Who's talking? We'll say it afterwards. Let's do siyum. I think we should do one siyum, Rabbi Isai. So decide who's going to do it, and let's do it one siyum, because I think it's going to be too much of a tircha for the olam. Or what masechta are you making it on Mordechai? What? Brachos. Avram Lewis, what masechta are you making it on? What? I didn't hear. He's unmute, Avram Lewis. Somebody unmute Avram Lewis.
You're on. Go for it.
Okay, great. Very good.
All right, Ari.
We see him on Seder Moed and Mishnayos. The last mission of Mesachus Chagiga. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah?
We hear
The
you.
mission says, "Taste and Ma'avir and You hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
So Taste and Ma'avir and Altaras Hazar. However, after the Chag, whatever Chag it was, all the Shalosh Regalim, because they were Kohanim or Amaritzim, I would say, and would touch the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash, we're choshish that they have to be maver on all the Kalim and make sure everything is covered. How do they do it? Matbilan as a Kalim Shayu b'mikdash. They put them into a giant mikveh there called the Yam Shel Shlomo. They put all the Kalim inside this mikveh to be mitarda. And before that, they would say to these Kohanim Amaratzim, don't touch the shulchan. Stop the shulchan shouldn't touch, because even though it's possible to put it into a mikvah, the pasuk says by shulchan lechem panim lefanai kavod. You have to have lechem panim constantly. There's never a moment. Every Shabbos when they do a switch, they would take off the old lechem panim, put the new lechem panim on immediately. The halach that they always have to be there. So there's never an opportunity to take the shulchan and put it into the mikvah. So they were very, very careful not to the kohanim amei haaretz touching the shulchan. And then the Mishnah concludes, all the Kalim of the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash had duplicates and triplicates. Why? So if they have to do Zvila on the original, meanwhile, what do? They needed the Kalim, so they put the secondary one Kalim in its place. All the Kalim of the Beis Hamikdash required Zvila. Why? They changed the karka. The user says the reason why these things did not require tefillin in a mikvah is because they're considered karka by the big mizbeach and the kodesh is the mizbeach adama. It's actually called mizbeach adama. So adama, of course, the earth and anything that's connected to the karka does not require tefillin. And the mizbeach hazav, the smaller one, is a hakesh. The two mizbachos are connected one to the other, so if the big mizbach is called karka, so the smaller one is called karka as well. That's what did refer to that. Come to say what this machlokes in the Gemara, what this means. The first shot is that their argument is no. They do require tefillah. They did have secondary, second and third of the mizbachos because they're covered in either gold or copper, and therefore it's considered a kli bateches, which is royal kavod tova, and they did require tefillah. The second shot in the Gemara is that no,
really, they didn't require, just like Rabbi says, they did not require tefillah, but for a different reason, not just their karka, because they're kliyetz al shel anachas, because the kliyetz that's enormous and is meant to stay resting on the ground, has basically been a karka, does not require tefillah. And the fact that there's mitzvim with the metal is basically inconsequential because it's just a tzipoy, it's just a coating, which is buckled to the kli itself. So it's called the Pino Pinos, Amcha Beis Shah, Nia Klana, Anachim, Tzazem, Chabes Shah, Klani, Yishma, Chavlam, Yishma, Mishma, Va'ayvis Tachameni, Mitzvazach, Kidal, Gili, Bit, Gil, Vitamim, Chukacha, the man, Noivash, Velam, Lashkaf, Kudacha, Tivan, Stani, Brochat Hadana, Lavnen, Chukacha, Amen, Amen, Salavaev. But Diva Nachalach, Nachadana, Elena Volosenu, she has Santa, Hakena, Yoshua, Besa Midrash, Lomesh Vikarana, Shan Mashkin, Hemashkin, Anmashkin, with the guitar, Anmashkin, with the Barna Taylor. Ano male hammer, ano male safar, veil of animal carbon safar, ano rasim hamrasim, ano rasim high of above, dim rasim le shachas shnamar batar, el hen per deva le shachas achi dal mirma, so yachli hamani atar ba. Yisham knach havnai al hay shem shan satar time say the moed kach tazrin the hospital start machem to Simon. Limo the lam nishma rasus will have it called the Simon come and shach yama. It's supposed to tonight something come and describe the boy Tamad. Li Uzari Shlot Moshe Tarbat Bibi, Zari Ad Olam, Biskaini, this Halachcha, Tanchaosa, Bishafra Tishmar Allah, Hadakitos, Rabi, Sisacha, Kivi Boyabach of Yosif, Lachashnos Chaim, Achmed Bimina, the small Shabbat Adonai Zamatin, Adonai Brachazamah Shalom. I want to mention the sponsor for the Siyam is Yosef Weisberg in memory of his grandmother, Fadel Bashimah. Regarding the Kaddish, since we don't have a million present. I think we have a million here. Do you have a million? No. So I can't make the Kaddish, but we show Chakash v'Sameach.
Chakash v'Sameach.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Mazel tov, mazel tov. Does somebody else want to make a siyum? I mean, we could.